Alright, y'all, welcome back to the pod. I guess on the 6th, I didn't continue my recording because I had a phone call I wanted to do with a friend while I was driving home, or towards my home. Then I parked near my home and talked on the phone for a while and didn't get back to posting because I wanted to get home. I needed the bathroom after a while and I wanted to eat dinner, and I just never got back to the recording. But I'm not sure why I didn't sleep too good. I woke up early, around 6, but because of all the melatonin and THC, Delta 9, I was I couldn't wake up at 6 a.m. I got up, but it just wasn't gonna happen today. So I didn't get up. That's not what I meant to say. I got up later, around 8:30. I think I started waking up again, which is almost a record for me. I don't think I've slept in till 8:30 or so in a long time, and I didn't get up till like 8:45. I think I started like getting out of bed. So yeah, that was weird. In my mind, I was like, I had all these things I wanted to do when I was like getting up. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to the gym, like have some C4, get to the gym, go and cause we ran out of coffee yesterday. But yeah, I was gonna go to the gym, that's mostly what I was just gonna do. And then, just, I don't know. I mean, that's mostly what I was gonna do, is go to the gym, kind of relax a little bit, and kind of just try and, I had an appointment at noon, and then I thought I'd go drive Uber Eats. Guys, none of this happened. Other than the appointment, I realized how useless my energy was going to be today. So I made it more of a creative day. I just basically got to the appointment at noon, and then I probably didn't eat lunch till like 2 because I went to Barnes & Noble. I got the new Computer Music magazine. Not the new one. It's from July, but it's the newest one they had at the bookstore. So I picked it up. I'm up late. It's 10:45 right now, almost. And I'm probably just going to read that or do some blogging or something along those lines, because I'm not sleeping, so I'm not going to just lay there and try to go to bed. I might need to have a different location to kind of work on my stuff. I'm kind of considering it. I'm considering getting back to the coffee shops and libraries and things like that, because there is something cozy about, when you're being creative and, being at home in like a cozy space, not being bothered. Well, I'm a little bothered, but not too bothered. It's a little more comfortable, but I don't think I'd feel comfortable using my brother or my sister's room or the living room to really do the things I need to do. And then so I do everything kind of in my room, and maybe that's, I've gotten into a habit of like sitting on my bed doing stuff, like working on things, and maybe that's interfering with my sleep. I really don't know. So I might try to take some of that other stuff outside the bedroom or to my desk. It's just, I don't know. I think at a point I kind of had a hotspot, because I was paying for Google Fi, but I don't really use it, and so since I don't use it anymore, I don't really have my phone as a hotspot, and I don't know, it's kind of like little things, like I don't want to go to the bathroom at the library. You gotta like pack up your stuff to go to the bathroom, or just be there every day, because it's like, I would be there every day because I'm working on stuff almost every day. So it's like, I don't know if I'd be more productive necessarily, but I don't really know if it's the best idea to be like hanging out in my room a lot. Like, I do leave the house like a lot. Like, I'm not in the house all day. Like, I'd say in the last 2 weeks, that's probably been the longest stretch in a while that I've been home more days. But I still go, like, I probably don't have like more than like 3 consecutive days where I'll stay home. Like, I'll eventually go to the gym or the beach, or just out and about, like run an errand or something or whatever. But like, I don't do deliveries every day. I don't do those mystery apartment shops every day. I say gym, yeah, I don't do gym every day, but those 3 things I do probably once a week or more, depending on the week. So I get out to do at least that stuff, and then, if I make plans with other people or make some other kind of plan, then yeah, I try then. I'll see if somebody comes tomorrow for this car. I might just have to take a low offer. Part of me just wants it off my hands, like, I might not get the price I want because the market really sucks, but I don't know, like, they're really going way lower than they were before on those websites, saying that, like those cash for cars type sites is like in the $200 range. I'm like, guys, that's nothing. Like, you can make $200 driving Uber Eats. Like, it's nothing. It's not any significant money, nor is the previous $400 they preferred to offer. I might have to go low though, like around $700 to $800. I mean, I feel like that car is worth way more, but I don't know if it's worth more to somebody else if they're gonna buy something that they have to fix. And especially with the economy as it is, it would kind of be good to just have the extra money to make these like student loan payments and stuff. I'm not like worried about it like that, but I'm kind of like, I'd like to kind of line my pockets pretty quick before the end of this year. And I'm literally not going to drive that car. So is it worth about $700 something to get rid of something that I'm not going to use? I mean, I literally just sit in there and I smoke pot. And then other than that, I just sit in there, talk on the phone, maybe do some podcast recordings. But yeah, I don't really have a different car. There's a dude who wants to see it tomorrow, sometime maybe close to 11:30 or 12:30. He's not too sure. He'll tell me by like 8 a.m. I never sent my address. I've stopped. I didn't really go like haywire, like sending my address at least, and so, I didn't really send it, but you know, I've sent it to a few people, the ones who've come to look at it, but I don't like just sending it out to people because then they have my address. So I'm like, unless you're actually planning on coming over, like one person never actually came over. I didn't notice that it was like a scam kind of thing, like a spam kind of thing. I don't know. Let me see. Let me see if I can find that message. I don't mind reading these people's messages because I don't know them. So basically, somebody texted me Tuesday. I'm interested in your car. Can I come to see the car tomorrow? My name is, and they put their name. My phone number, they put their number. And then I said hello to that person. Yes, you can come by. It's available. Are you available between 11:30 a.m. and 1 p.m. today, or around 6:30 p.m. to 7:15 p.m.? It would be best to see it in good lighting, not at night. Thanks. And they said, okay, 11 to 1 p.m. I can. And they spelled this wrong. Send me the address. And all these other things had like dots after them. The OK dot 11 dot 2 dot 1 dot PM dot I dot can. So I'm kind of like, what is this that I'm talking to? Is it even a person? And then I said, so that was at 9:31 a.m. yesterday. At 10:24, I said, hi, Jamie. Well, that's the person's name. It doesn't matter if it's their name or not, honestly. Like, you can't track them. Please let me know which time so I can be available. I'll still be on the clock. Please text me. Please text before to let me know the best time. And I sent the address and the location. Please let me know the best time because I'll have to come back. I'm not there at the moment. And then they just said, okay. And then I waited a while. Like, I was home, but I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be home, kind of. But I was like, sorry, I'm no longer free. Didn't hear back. They didn't really confirm when they were coming either, so it's kind of like, okay. Yeah, so yeah, then another person said that they recognized the ad from one I posted before, and before they had kind of declined to come view it. So it's this kind of thing, the back and forth. It's not a whole lot, but it's like, it's just enough to be like, well, if they're gonna come look at something, like, I don't want to keep it just open, like, oh, just come anytime, because I'll be here waiting forever. So I've noticed too, people don't show up on time. Everybody who's looked at it so far has been at least 30-40 minutes to an hour late coming to see it. And so it's like, they're already late. So I don't know why they agree to a certain time if they can't even, like LA is like, it's a beast, like somebody called the last time from, I don't know, all the way across town. It took them like an hour and a half to get to my place. And I was just waiting like the whole time. I had to spend the whole time cleaning out the car. So I was able to clean out the whole car. And get into a whole bickering session with my parents who wanted to be all involved with it, who were so concerned. And that was my highest offer. And they were kind of like upset that I was going to sell it for so low. And I was like, I know how much it's worth. Like, I don't think they understood, because they haven't researched it. They haven't been online looking. And yeah, you can get a lot for cars, but also I don't want to be sitting on this thing, It's like, even if I could get double for what's easy to get, probably within a week or two, even if I could get double, if I waited longer, I mean, I could just make that money, So it's like, it's not like I'm not making any money. So it's like, that's why I'm kind of like, I don't know. I mean, I'm already going to take a loss on it, but is it really a loss if I could potentially get way lower later on, It's like, I don't think anybody wants to pay for a car that's like 21 years old to get fixed, unless they have some nostalgic kind of connection to that type of car, or, they like it. It's a V6, it's a sports car, but it's old, and it does need repairs, and I don't think it's going to reliably run, even though it might reliably run for a while. It's been repaired so many times. Like, I've talked about it so many times, but it's like, I had it towed in May of 2023. Before that, I had it towed back from San Diego in January of for like New Year's Eve, but it stalled right before New Year's Eve, but so technically it was the very end of last year, but I had to get it towed back because I left New Year's Day. So when I was checking out of the hotel, I had to get it towed back. This was the very beginning of this year, 2023. My birthday in August of 2022, the car stalled when we went to a concert, when we saw Odessa at the Forum. In July and in June of 2022, I had to get the repairs for the service engine light, to get the what do you call it? The service engine light to get it turned off, to get the registration renewed. I had to get the starter repaired before that, so I could even have it running, to get back from San Diego, because it stalled like the week before I was gonna move. So because I had all my work belongings still in LA, I don't remember what was going on, but either way, I had to go to LA and come back because I was actually gonna move, and then I ended up not moving as soon as I wanted to because I didn't have a car that was gonna run. I'm pretty sure it stalled sometime before last summer too, but how many times is that? And yeah, whatever happened in July, because right after I got everything fixed, maybe I'm blanking. Maybe this is January where I got it fixed and then had to get it fixed again. I don't know. Or maybe it was August. I'm just saying because I know the mechanic who did it. I saw him in January and in August. Because the car got towed to him both times. And so I don't really know which time it was, but one of those times I had to take it back, but he didn't charge. But I also couldn't drive it for very long because I didn't know what was wrong. It had been smoking a bit. I had driven it a couple times and it was smoking. So I just don't know. And that smoking happened again that New Year's Eve time. I never figured out what that actually was. But I don't know. It's been having so many issues all this time. That's a lot of times, you know, to get your car towed like 3 times in a 1-year period, and getting all those repairs and stuff. And the car's been looked at. It's been looked at like all the time. So I really don't know what else to say. I'm just like, okay. So it's kind of on my mind. I'm like, I'd kind of like to knock that off the to-do list, even if I take it at a loss. It might just make more sense for me to kind of get rid of it. I'm really trying to stockpile a lot of cash right now, but you know, that would create a lot of momentum to get like quite a few hundred extra. I don't know. The repairs this car needs is definitely going to be more than it's worth. So that's why I'm hoping, like, if someone's a mechanic or knows someone who's really close to them that's a mechanic, that would probably not charge labor and would know how to get like affordable parts and fix everything, that might be better. But I only fix what I take to get fixed. I only fix what I want to fix, you know, or what I need to fix. But there's always going to be other issues. Like, it's a 21-year-old car that has still some original parts on it. It's gonna be crapping out, you know. It's like, you know, I don't want to get it a third engine, you know. Like, the second engine is enough. And it is a rebuild. It's a rebuilt second engine. Oh, I don't know if they rebuilt my original engine or if they rebuilt a different engine. I don't know. I don't remember because it was so long ago. But it was within the last 10 years, but I feel like it was like more than... It was probably, let me see, I don't know what year it was. I don't want to calculate, but I know where I was living when it happened. So it was probably like my 4th or 5th year in San Diego. And before that, I had the transmission worked on probably like about my 3rd year. I think maybe my 3rd year in San Diego. So those were the major repairs I had while I was there. But then there were also other repairs while I was there. So, like, yeah, in the last 10 or so years, it's been getting a lot of repairs. Because that's what happens. Like, usually past, like, 10 years, your car's going to need a lot of work. And now that it's, like, 21 years old, it's almost 21 and a half in a couple months. So, it's just a lot, you know. It's a lot to deal with, and I might just get rid of the thing. I've got a laptop I want to work on. I'm just a little upset because I cannot freaking remember what I did. I cannot freaking remember if the power jack and the motherboard that it's attached to are the new one or the old one. I think I don't know. I think it's... Okay, so let me explain. I bought a gaming laptop. This is like years ago. It's like an Asus. I love Asus gaming laptops, and this one's old, but I don't even care because it's good. It works. It works. It's just the power jack. So the first time I took it apart, I drew an entire schematic of like all the major screws and everything. The way I do it is like by layers pretty much. So it's like I draw just like I don't want to explain the whole process, but like I don't draw it like very good, but like maybe the top, the keyboard, the bottom, and put like, okay, where were the screws, like underneath the battery, like those are, maybe there's 2 screws under there on the bottom, so I'll mark each of those 1, and then I'll take them out and put those screws in a little baggie, and label that baggie 1, and it has those 2 screws in it, and then the labels are on the little picture of the back of the keyboard where the little square is where the battery would go, and it just has where the screw holes would be the numbers 1 and 1. So I just do it like that, and then the next screws I take out would be number 2. So say if it's all the 4 corners of the back of it, I'll put number 2 at all the 4 corners if it was 4 corner screws, and then I'll mark that on the schematic as well. And then every time it's a different part, either like a different layer or a different side to it, then if I'm taking out screws, I'll just do that same process. So I've got like, I don't know, it's called 6-7 pages or something that have screws marked pretty much 1 through 11, because the problem is sometimes it's hard to just eyeball the sizes of all the screws. So I don't know where I learned that to do that, but it helps. And I think way back what I did was I did it a different way, and I had like a piece of foam, and I stuck the screws by number in the piece of foam, but then it had all the numbers of all the screws and just one picture, one page, I think mostly one page, showing a picture of all the screws all at once. And so that got really confusing because I always had like so many screws left over. And that's another annoying part, because sometimes if you have leftover screws, your computer's not going to work as well, because the connections might be off, or like it might be like you might need like a little, like it might have like a millimeter too much of like a gap that you have to push down on to get some other part to like stay put in place. And like it takes a bit of precision, because laptops are tight fit. It's not like a desktop where there's a whole lot of space. Like the casing usually is like just enough to fit everything in there, and then some space for some air, and then other than that you don't really deal with it much. But yeah, I have this motherboard. So basically what I did was I took it apart. I took the laptop apart, and the motherboard was fine. The power jack, all I did was buy a new power jack, solder it on, but I didn't do a good job soldering. But I soldered it on, and I plugged into power, and I didn't plug into power first. See, the thing is with this motherboard, it doesn't have an indicator light when you're plugged in, and I don't know if I still have a voltmeter. I gotta look through my stuff again. I don't think I still have a voltmeter. So yeah, I might not still have a voltmeter, but yeah, it did work. But this was years ago. But yeah, it did work. So I was able to have this, epic, laptop that I was putting together. So I had turned it on. I put it together, like I put it together enough to test with the monitor connected, but not put everything together first. It was just like the monitor connected to the motherboard and the motherboard connected to power, and like just the cables and stuff for the monitor, so that when I powered it on, I could see, as long as everything's working on the monitor, it's like, okay, it works, right? Um, and so I was like, okay, it powers on. And so I think it went to BIOS. I can't remember. This was so long ago. I have pictures of it, I hope, still somewhere on my phone. And then I plugged in, like basically I, unplugged, put everything back together, plugged it in, turned it on, was kind of waiting on it for, it was gonna boot, and then the initial page was like to install the operating system, which at that point I didn't have, so I never got to really use it, and I kept testing the power cord. I'll say I tested it I can't remember details, but I'll say I tested it that night, and then the next day when I tested it again, it came out, because I kept like plugging and unplugging just to make sure it was like secure, because I hadn't purchased Windows yet or anything, and so I was going to, but I was like, well, I don't want to spend money, so I did end up spending money to buy it. I got this flash drive that has the operating system on it. I think I got it off Amazon or something. I don't even know if it's like Windows 7 or like, I don't know what it was. It was something that's not new now. It wasn't Vista. It might have been Windows 7 or Windows 10. I really don't remember. I think it was Windows 7 though. And then I didn't get a chance to install it because the jack stopped working. And so I took some time to try to desolder it. I don't know if I desoldered it. See, this is the part I'm confused on. So I bought, I was like, I don't want to deal with this anymore, with this jack. So I bought a new motherboard, not a new, like a used refurbished motherboard of the same type that already had the jack that was supposed to be working. That motherboard didn't power on at all. So now one of those two motherboards has the heatsink attached to it with the GPU and the CPU, and I don't know which motherboard it is, if it's the one that's working or the one that's not. And the jack is loose. I don't remember if I tried to take the jack off of the newer motherboard that was refurbished or off of the old motherboard. I'm thinking I might have tried to desolder as much as I could to try to allow myself to be able to kind of re-solder again. So I think that might be what's going on the other motherboard with the loose jack. I think that's the working motherboard, but I really don't know. So that's annoying, It's like, that's so annoying. I didn't label it. I thought I would remember, but I've been sitting on this for over a year now, and it's just sitting on my desk. So I'm gonna have to, I do plan to fix it. I mean, I think all I really have to do is solder on the jack, but do a better job with soldering. I mean, my little laptop is running out of space now that I've been using it for a while. I started using it like maybe for the past year, 2 years maybe. So now that I've been using it more, it's filling up pretty quickly because I'm writing music on there and saving pictures and stuff. Like, not really fun pictures, but like, stuff for blog posts, stuff for when I go do these apartment viewings. Like, sometimes I have to take pictures, so I sometimes don't upload from my phone. I'd rather upload and do the whole report from my laptop. It's not that big of a deal, but I don't know, guys. It's not like the hardest thing on earth, but it's just stuff like that. Like, I've got a lot of like unfinished stuff that I'd like to get out of the way that's kind of holding me up. I could probably sell that laptop. My plan was to fix it and sell it. That was actually my plan, now that I remember. Because I was like, I can fix a jack, that's no problem. But that's why I kept taking it, like, unplugging and plugging in. And that's another thing. I had to buy a new power. It didn't come with, like, the battery doesn't charge. It doesn't hold a charge. I think it comes with the battery. I can't remember. But it doesn't hold a charge anyways. And so, yeah, I used the I was trying to just use the plug. I had to buy a new one though, because it didn't come with it. I think it was like $15. It doesn't seem very sturdy, but it's also lighter weight than the original one that Asus provides. But I don't know if it's like some cheap thing. So it could be the jack. I mean, it could be the power supply. I don't think it is, but that's possible. But I did desolder the jack. Like, the solder isn't fully on the pins anymore. So I don't know. I really like talking about these kinds of things. So I don't know. I would honestly dedicate like a whole podcast to, like, I already do a lot of little projects, but I would honestly dedicate a whole podcast to, talking about my projects and things. I really enjoy talking about them, but sometimes I put them down for a very long time. I don't know how much money I could get for that thing. I could post it up to sell for parts, but I don't know. Piecing things out gets a little bit complex, but you could probably, sometimes you can piece things out as like a bundle, or as like, like, say if you're gonna resell a laptop for like $150, let's say, I don't know, let's just call that the number, $150. Let's say if that's what you were gonna do for $150. Yeah, for $150, I think someone could buy it, but you could sell multiple pieces for like $10. The motherboard could probably sell for like $70, $60. Sell the heatsink for $10. Sell the I don't know, the monitor for like $40. Like, you could probably make more than $150 just piecing out major parts. But that's a lot of work. It seems like a lot of work and effort. I don't mind effort, but it's like it's a whole lot of effort. I don't know. We've got these old printers in my garage that I used to want to sell. I think I sold a couple of them. I feel like I did. I can't remember, but they're so big. I don't know. I don't know if I really did, because I don't remember ever hauling like a gigantic box to get shipped. I don't recall doing that ever, to my knowledge, so I don't really know. I could probably just pay somebody to fix the stupid laptop, but it's in pieces, and I don't want to, it's kind of embarrassing. What am I going to bring it in pieces with my little schematic and all the screws and be like, here, you put it back together? But then if I put it back together, they're just going to have to take it apart anyway, so it's like, I'd be doing them a favor, but also it's like, maybe not. But I like that kind of stuff. I like it when it's not something I need, like I don't like broken things that I'm trying to fix when it's something I need. When it's something that I just want and I have fun tinkering, then, that's kind of better for me. But I'm kind of considering, because it's so close to the weekend, I'm probably going to spend a lot of the weekend working on stuff. Like other stuff, not like Uber Eats and that kind of stuff, and job applications and things. I'm gonna be, working on some of these projects because I was enjoying myself. I've been enjoying myself, so I don't really want to, I do kind of space out on like those Judge Faith Jenkins episodes, or just like rewatching a bunch of stuff. I think the other night I was rewatching All That on Paramount Plus. All That is on there. Like, I think the second season, or like a couple seasons. I don't think it's I wanted to watch the pilot, but I didn't see it. Like, I don't think they even have the first season. But it was a funny show. I only watched like, I think one episode because I wanted to see the artist at the end. I thought All That had artists at the end. So I don't know if maybe they didn't originally have them in the early seasons, or if they just cut it out. And this is the All That has like Keenan and Kel and like all those guys. Really funny stuff though. I don't really even remember it, but I found it funny back then, and it's still funny. Even though I'm no longer like a teenager, it's still funny to me. It's good comedy. It really is good comedy. It was very well made, and especially for back then, it's like, if you guys remember that show, The Roundhouse, and like all those kind of shows, there weren't like a lot of shows for like the teen and like 20s generation, but I think All That and Roundhouse were like really cool shows back then. And I kind of still like that stuff. Like, it's kind of weird, but I do like those kind of old shows. I like that movie on Netflix. It was like a documentary about the American gladiators and that kind of stuff. I was like, man, like, cool, gladiators. Like, I remember I used to love that show, but I did not realize it was so low budget. Like, I thought it was so like advanced. And the same with what was it, Guts, where they had the aggro crag and all this kind of stuff. I used to love this kind of like game show kind of shows, and like stuff that you just don't see right now. There's not a lot of like that kind of stuff right now. Like, it does exist, but it's like, it's not like, I don't know, people aren't like coming out with a lot of it. But there is a lot of comedy. Like, stand-up is getting like a big name. Like, it's always been popular, but I feel like it is getting bigger, or maybe I'm just paying more attention to it. But I feel like, Netflix having it as a genre and putting a bunch of comedians on there and stuff, like, it's pretty cool. But I don't know. I don't even really have anything else to say. All I did today was like Just listen to music for a while, watch some stuff. I'm gonna read some of this computer music magazine. Maybe watch some videos about some stuff I need to kind of learn to do. And that'll probably help me sleep. I like tutorials, lengthy tutorials. Okay, guys, with that, thanks for listening.